Hey, so unfortunately it's kind of been a while again since my last video. The reason being that I kind of no longer had any space that I could use to film in. Basically to explain, when I first moved here, I decided that I'd keep pretty much everything that I owned in this garage, just to give me as much empty space as physically possible in my bedroom to be able to use to film with. And while that was, initially a really great idea for being able to keep TastyPC going whilst I'm living here, because my bedroom's like super small, about 6 months ago now, the garage flooded. So everything that was in here needed to be moved into my bedroom to save it from the water. So there is now like zero space in my room at all. Like, it's an assault course just to be able to get from the door to my bed and back again, let alone like have the floor space to sit a tripod. So I've just not had any filming space at all. And then, because I was freaking about not having anywhere that I could film and I had videos to make and people counting on me, my mental health kind of ended up relapsing, which is just infuriating, I know, and sadly the reason why you're only just hearing about all of this now. But like, don't worry, even though I'm still struggling with this, coming up with an idea of what I'm going to be able to do about having somewhere to film just has, really helped me to like overcome it enough to the point where I can just, like brave it out the rest of the way to be able to start making videos again, like, if you get what I mean. But yeah, the idea that I came up with is basically that because it turned out that the whole garage roof needed to be taken off and replaced, as it'd been built with asbestos, and given how much money that was going to cost to do, plus also given how little space I'd go back to having in the bedroom once everything could be moved back out here, I decided, why not just do like a little more work to the garage on top of the roof and make it into like a mini filming studio. It'll actually be a lot more space to work with than I had before, and I imagine having a dedicated area will really help with productivity too. So yeah, that's the plan and what has been taking up most of my time. Unfortunately, money has been an issue, so it's just been, a case of doing it bit by bit as I can afford it. I know it doesn't look like much at the moment, but it really has come a long way since I first started working on it. So yeah, the first thing that's been done to it is that the roof's been completely replaced, which was easily the most expensive part of the project. Although, unluckily, even with the new roof, the garage is still being letting in water. So I've tried to eliminate everything that be causing the issue. Like, I've had new guttering fitted, and the drain outside was checked to see if it was blocked, and then subsequently unblocked. Also, the ground level around was higher than it should have been, so I went round the outside of the garage and dug a trench that sits lower than the damp proof caused by 2 bricks, which is apparently where the ground level was meant to be. And then lastly, there was a cracked air vent down here, which was also letting in water. So, I took that out, removed the half-broken bricks from the wall, and then replaced them. I do actually have some pictures of this. I was originally going to film it, but then I decided against it because I probably do such a cat-kind job. And yeah, lo and behold, it took me like 3 hours per brick. Like, it was actually dark outside by the time I put the first brick in. Despite that, though, it seems I actually didn't do all that bad of a job. Like, now it seems really nice and sturdy. So yeah. I have to say that since doing all these things, I have noticed that the downspouts are really drying out, so I have definitely gotten some of this so far. But the problem is that if I leave the room as it is now, I'm always going to have some damp issues, because these 2 exterior walls here are only single skin walls, just basically like 1 brick thick and no cavity. And ultimately, bricks act like sponges when it rains, so in like a rainy country like England, I have no choice but to insulate and board up these walls if I want to eliminate the damp problems, which really sucks because I really love the look of brick and would have loved to have been able to have this as like a backdrop. But, to be fair, this brick isn't the nicest. It's kind of cracked and holy, so I suppose I'm not really missing out that much on the chance to have like a nice brick wall, because it wouldn't have been that nice anyway. So yeah, I do have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to insulate everything, but I've never done any work like this before, and all of the guides that I've read seem to either like contradict or disagree with each other. So anyone watching this, if you've got any feedback or advice for me, that would really help. But yeah, so my plan for these 2 exterior walls is to use timber battens with strips of damp proof membrane in between the battens and the brick walls, and then just to install insulated boards to those battens. Although, I do want to insulate and install a floating floor first before I start working on the walls, which will basically just consist of laying down sheets of DPM, sitting Kingspan insulation on top of that, and then chipboard on top of that. This wall here will also be insulated, even though it's an internal dividing wall, not for damp reasons though, like with the other 2 walls, but instead to help with noise reduction and just, to give me a bit more privacy, so I feel more comfortable filming audio out here. Also, it is quite noisy where I live, so until it's done, unfortunately for the moment, I'm going to have to like record audio separately in my bedroom, which is what I'm doing now. I don't actually have to worry about the main garage door because the plan is to put a stud wall across here and put a little side door on the wall here. That's because unfortunately a part of the garage needs to stay as a storage area, so I just thought if I put a wall here then that helps to make this a nice area to film in rather than having, you know, like soiled filled plant pots and other such gardening stuff like spilling into the filming space. And also then I don't have to worry about insulating the main door. But yeah, the priority at the moment is just to get this space usable as cheaply and as quickly as possible. Like, I'm not too bothered about it actually being able to retain heat or being energy efficient or anything like that. So, you know, like things like insulating the roof, for example, is very low priority. I just need to feel comfortable enough to have, you know, my camera equipment out here without feeling like I'm leaving it outside. So yeah, that's pretty much the basic plan. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while to be able to get everything finished, especially as I need to like space out the cost. So, you know, it's just going to be a case of like saving up for a few months and getting the floor done, saving up for a few more months and getting a wall done, you know, etc, etc. So what I was thinking is that, you know, in the meantime, I could make like random garage renovation videos, just, you know, as and when I get parts done until the area is finished, if you're all okay with that. I mean, you know, because I know it's not tech videos, but it is something. Although, in the meantime, there is probably some smaller tech videos that I can already make out here. As whilst it will take a while to do, it really shouldn't be all that difficult to bring the filming equipment out here temporarily for a day and then just take it all back to the bedroom in the evening. Like, for example, I do have a long overdue mouse review that I believe I should be able to film in here while it's still like this. So yeah, that's the plan. The next step in here is to get the power and lighting installed. As right now I'm just using a massive extension lead and a little work light to be able to see with, which, you know, isn't ideal. So as soon as I can get that done, I'm thinking that could be the next part of this like garage conversion series. I do want to apologise beforehand that these videos will probably be a bit boring to watch. But, you know, I do still think that they're worthwhile making, as, you know, being able to work on this garage really is a huge step in the right direction for me, in regards both to, you know, being able to get the channel back up and running, but also to help me get more confident making videos again. Also, I do want to apologise for not saying how sorry I am for disappearing again at the beginning of this video. It's just, you know, I really want to, you know, show you that I'm sorry rather than just keep saying it. But yeah, so thank you to everyone who has continued to support me on the channel, you know, despite everything, and thank you all for watching.